P, like
KMP.
K and P.
From KMP.
Yeah, or of KMP, whichever, whichever is grammatically correct for the grammar Nazis.
I put from KMP.
All right, that's perfect.
Okay, confirm and go live. Let's freaking go. Alright. I see noise. Alright. What up, y'all? Let's go. This is DJ Pac-Man. This is Real Talk with famous DJ agency. Today on the show, I have none other than K Flex. This is my guy. This is my boy. Can I say your real name?
Yeah, you can say it. Yeah.
This is Alex. I've known Alex, man. We go way back. I'm gonna tell you something. I met this guy at a swap meet. Saw him one time, and I thought, like, hey, this is a guy I see once, and I'm never gonna see him again. And we've been friends now.
What? Almost.
Over 10 years,
Yeah,
bro. It's been over 10 years, like, for sure.
I think it's more closer to like 15 years.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit less, somewhere around there.
So I think it's crazy how life, sends you in different directions, but this is one of them, and I am so proud. I'm so happy to have you on the show, and I'm so happy to be able to talk to you, man. So cheers. It's just water.
Cheers.
Water inside a red cup.
First of all, thank you guys for having me. I super appreciate it. It's been a long time since I met Pac-Man. As he stated, it's been like close to 15 years. And like he said, I met him at a swap meet through a really good friend of both of ours. Shout out to Miguel.
Miguel. Wait, I gotta call him by his DJ name, bro.
Oh, Disco Legends, man. DJ Disco Legends.
Hey.
Yeah, we met through him. Long time friend with him too. So it's kind of just been, music kind of keeps the circle tight. And that's kind of where I met. Like, I started talking more and more with Pac-Man. I think I remember that I used to help you when we were doing the other podcast at the other location in Downey for a while, too.
So we had Emix Radio. We had Emix Radio back, and this was 2010? Started in 2010?
Bro, that's 15 years. That means I've known you for over 15 years.
Yeah, bro.
That's nuts.
Back 2010.
That's nuts.
It was called Emix Radio, and Alex used to go and do the
mixing,
engineering stuff. Yeah. Like manage the machine. You were the guy. You were the guy behind the scenes.
That stuff was so cool, man. I learned so much from doing that with you. It was so awesome. Such a great experience.
100%. And I think the cool. I'm gonna tell the story because I think it's important that people know this. So as everyone knows, we used to do private gigs. We still do. And I told Alex, I was like, help me out with one of the gigs. It was a gig. I was like, hey, it's paid. You get some extra money in your pocket. I need help. Like, you're a DJ, And he was like, cool, I'll take it. And then, so he goes, I go pick him up. We go to the gig. And then he starts spinning because I was emceeing and you were doing all the spinning.
Yep.
And then I was like, oh, whoa. Like, this kid's actually good. I didn't know that. I honestly didn't know that. I was like, no, he's really good.
Oh, shit.
I think you were scratching.
Not that many people know I learned how to scratch. And shout out, rest in peace to my boy DJ Nato for that, man. He passed away recently, and that hurt me pretty bad. But he's one of the main reasons I kind of learned how to scratch. And dude was a fucking monster, man. He was a beast on the turntables.
No, for sure. And so I see this. I'm like, man, this kid knows how to scratch. Like, okay, he's gonna go places. Because not only did he scratch, he was also producing music. And I was like, when you have the element of like, hey, knowing how to make music and then knowing how to
play it.
It's
yeah.
You're double trouble, man. You're like, what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I think when I saw that, I was like, oh, you're gonna go places.
I appreciate that. I super appreciate that.
And here you are, man. Here you are, places. You're doing so many freaking things, and I'm freaking proud of you, bro. I just want to say that. I want to
you,
say that
Thank you.
so everybody can see it.
Super thank you, man. It's extremely humbling experience to, be in the game this long, learn and see people come in and out of the game like that. There's a lot of people I know that quit music, and it's like, damn, this is such a positive outlet for somebody to just, let your emotions out and really be yourself. And that's kind of where I chose to take it. Just started like, you know what, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna put a piece of my soul into this, so that way, the universe don't take me now, but I can leave you guys with something.
Hey, that's I think about that all the time, man. I think about that a lot because I started DJing and I was like, oh, like, DJing is something that like it could just be a weekend thing.
Mm-hmm. Right? It could be a hobby for sure, definitely.
But I'm not even talking about a hobby. It could just be an extra paycheck.
Yeah.
Not even a hobby. It could just be an extra paycheck for people who just want like extra money. A quick buck.
Quick 200, 300, 400, 500, $600.
Yeah, man. But when I started DJing, I was like, no, like I have to leave a legacy behind. Like I gotta leave something. Like I don't want. To me, it's not just, hey, let me get paid. I just want a couple $100. Like, no, like I want my name to mean something. I want the company I build to mean something. I want it to mean something. It can't, especially after I die.
You want to leave something for the rest of the world to remember.
Yeah, man.
It's like leaving a little bit of your legacy here, leaving a little tiny footprint in the stamp of like, time
100%.
that we're here.
Absolutely. So I totally feel what you're saying. But now getting into what what you bring to the table and you make amazing music, but I want to know where it all started.
Oh man,
how it came about, what inspired you, like what was the first moment in time that you're like,
the catalyst that sparked
that put it all together.
That is a great question. There's been.
Do you need a sip before you answer that question?
Yeah, I'll take one. I had to really think about this one, honestly, because there's actually been it's not just one, it's never just one catalyst, that kicks off the entire thing. It's kind of like, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know what I mean? These people, push you and, life throws things at you, so you gotta kind of wing it, and you gotta figure out what you want to do with yourself and where you want to go in life or what you want to leave for the world. There's all these different angles to look at the way you want to do with the rest of your life. And the way I got started is I have an uncle who was a DJ back in like the early 2000s and 90s, and he had a little setup when I was like a little kid, and I would watch him like mess around with it as like really little kid. He stopped doing that for a while. He's sick now, but he's recovering. I have an older stepbrother who during high school had a little tractor controller, and he kind of picked it up for that same reason, like, oh, I want to do DJing gigs just to earn a little bit of side money.
Yeah.
Little did he know that was one of those key moments in my life where I would ask him, hey, can I mess with your controller? I know you're right here, so you can watch me mess with it. Can I mess around with it? And he'd be like, yeah, while I'm here, yeah, you can mess with it. But if I'm not here, don't touch it. Dude, I had to restrain myself so bad from like going in there and just like on my own, just like trying to mess with it and stuff.
Yeah. Did you ever, confession time, did you ever mess with it when he wasn't there?
One time. One time, all right?
That means it was 10.
I'm sorry. I apologize, but that was one of the reasons why I was like, you know what, I kind of really like playing music.
Yeah.
It sparks something inside you, at a really young age.
Big shout out to your cousin.
Yeah, no, my half brother, my stepbrother Will. Thank you, bro. Like, and then so that happens, and around that time, I moved from my dad's house, which is where my stepbrother lives, and then I came out here to Los Angeles and started living with my grandparents, and that's where I met the other half of the collab.
Okay.
Juan, shout out. He's one of my best friends. Like, me and him are fucking like super tight. I met the dude. He was already producing. The dude's oh my god, holy crap, dude! Shout out to you, man. You're a fucking madman behind the keys. but I was DJing and he was more producing.
Okay.
So it got to the point like we met at what was it called? Yuri's. Yuri's board the skate shop in Southgate during one of the Southgate fairs.
Wait, that was on Tweety.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah, I
right
remember
there.
it,
Yeah.
yeah.
So at there, I don't remember exactly what year it was, but I remember walking in there, meeting one of my friends up there, and him introducing me and Juan together. And he's like, "Oh, he produces and I don't know what, and this dude's the DJ." And we're like, "All right, cool, like sick, And I thought, "Oh, he's cool, he's gonna be the homie, but I'm not gonna be that close to him. Whatever I'm trying to do, this." And
Yeah.
So, long story short, we kind of started like, "Hey, bro, I wanna start doing this. Can you teach me?" And I kind of asked him about production stuff. Like, "Hey, man, I like that you make music, and I think that shit's cool as hell. Do you mind showing me how to do that? And I'll show you how to spin." And it was just
A back and forth.
it was just an equal trade, and that right there is the very like core of how it just like, all right, cool, that's gonna kind of push each other to continue making music and upping our skill sets.
But wait, let's go back a little bit. Because you said it was your brother that got you into, like, when you were messing with the stuff.
Yeah.
That got you into, hey, spinning.
Yeah.
Right? But what made you go to that fair? What made you go to, like, take that next step with Juan?
It just...
Like, what was the part of spinning that wasn't enough? Like, hey, this isn't enough. I want to take it to the next level.
I guess the main thing that kind of made me want to take another step and go off the deep end was just thinking about the creativity it takes, to actually create something more or less original or something that nobody's heard before, that really kind of sparked my interest for it. I was like creative. I love being creative. I'm a big creative person. I'm a big creative thinker. So anything that allows me to use my creativity freely, I'm going in. I'm going in 110%. I'm going in 1,000% on that.
Yeah.
But that's mainly the, like,
So yeah, that was the spark. So
Yeah.
you're just, in general, you're a creative person, and you're like, hey, I want to know where to release this creative energy.
Yep.
Like, where do I put it?
Yeah, where can I do? I have all these ideas for, like, after he taught me how to produce, I started listening to music so much differently.
Okay.
Like, way differently. I was like, damn, he taught me kind of like what he does to make changes to certain songs, or how he makes original sounds and stuff like that. And it just like, whoa, that's pretty cool. I want to know how to do that too. And I'm pretty sure he was like, damn, this dude can spin. All right, like, I'm pretty down to learn that too. And it's, like I said, it's just an equal exchange of, skills that we showed each other.
100%. No, I think that's cool, man. I think, it's funny because I think when you know what you're passionate about, like, it kind of changes your life. It gives you this purpose. It gives you this drive.
Yeah,
to
definitely.
I want to do that. I want to do that. So, and then it becomes a different game. So I think I share this in every episode. So I apologize if this sounds redundant. I'm not trying to sound redundant, but I'll share with you to get your take on it. Okay. But every time I get behind the turntables, I don't feel like I'm working.
No.
And
definitely.
I always feel like, hey, why am I getting paid for this? Like, I don't get why I'm getting. This is so much fun. This is just so much fun. There's so much creativity behind it.
There's no way I'm getting paid to do this. Like, there's no way I'm getting paid to be an iPod right now.
My ideas, my thought process. This song goes here. This song goes there.
Yep.
I could even imagine in the producer aspect, like, putting beats together. Like, there's got to be a sense of, like, when you were a kid and you were, like, kind of building blocks?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, or building Legos?
Legos, yep.
And you're like, oh, like, I'm just building Legos. Like, that's just what I'm doing. I feel that way when I'm putting songs together, and I'm sure in the producer world, you feel the same way. You're like, what? Like, I'm getting paid for this. Like,
yeah. Well, sometimes you don't make money, especially as a producer. It's really hard to get, some kind of
to get noticed?
Clout, street cred, whatever people want to call it. But it's really hard to get noticed because anybody can buy a laptop, go download crack software, and start making music. what really, in my opinion, what really separates you is how far you're willing to take it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how far off the deep end are you really willing to go into production, and do you really want to do this? Because it'll test you. It'll really test your patience. You'll have your computer crash. You'll fry it. Like, your hard drives will die. It's a ride. It's a roller coaster for sure.
I can imagine, and I can imagine like the hardware getting better, and then you not being able to keep up with it financially, because it's like, hey, this upgrade on the Mac that happened 3 months later after I bought my brand new Mac or my brand new Windows. Now I need this upgrade that I can't afford, so I have to save up for it. Is there a little bit of that?
I still use a 2013.
Okay. Hey, how do you get away with that?
It's maxed. Like,
Okay.
it's a 15-inch MacBook Pro, and I bought it, like, I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna buy another laptop, this thing's gonna be maxed out, and that's
Okay.
why I went for this specific year, because they're so upgradable.
Okay.
So RAM, SSD, like the works, everything I could possibly get it done on, it's done. So it's been a pretty reliable laptop. So I've got extra storage for all my samples and stuff. I don't really need to carry around a hard drive, but
And is it time for a new one?
no, not yet.
Not yet?
No, it's still alive. It's still
Wow.
kicking. She's
Okay.
kicking strong
No,
too.
for sure. Yeah,
she
for
kicks,
sure.
bro. She don't play.
Okay, so what? I mean, this might be a dumb question, but like, what about the upgrades of the software? That's like, hey, this hardware is no longer supported. Has that not happened to you yet?
FL Studio rules. I'm gonna just say that FL Studio rules. I've been using Juan, the other half of Crime and Punishment. He's actually the person that put me on to FL Studio.
Okay.
Which is ironic because he doesn't use FL Studio anymore as much. Now he's on Ableton.
Okay.
So he kind of passed me the torch. Like, here's FL Studio. Here's all the basics. Go crazy. I'm gonna go to Ableton.
Yeah.
So now when we collab, it's like, I'll do FL Studio, and I'll stem it. Here, take it and do what you want with it in Ableton. And then vice versa. He'll create something in Ableton, stem it out here, do something in FL Studio.
Yeah.
So it's pretty...
You know, it's funny because I when I started looking into producing music, which I never got into because I was always too busy. I'm sure producers probably hate that excuse, but it is what it is.
It's very time consuming.
It's very time consuming.
Extremely.
But I never used FL Studio. I only used and got into Ableton because I always thought that the name FL Studio, which is Fruity Loops, was too kiddish. I always looked at it and I was like, I'm not going to use a software called Fruity Loops.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and then
Yeah.
when they made the name change to FL Studio, I was like, that's perfect
That's
marketing.
beautiful right there.
FL Studio. Now it sounds professional. Now it
Mhm,
sounds
yep.
professional. But by that time, I was too busy to just continue going down that road. I get the basics of production, because I did dabble with it, like, just a little bit. It's just the hours. I can't put in that many hours. And it's hours, man.
No,
It's
yeah.
tremendous amount of hours that I just don't have. And I know producers probably hate that because, well, you tell me. Like if you want it, you want it, right?
Yeah, it's more of a love and hate thing. It becomes more of one of those, this is annoying because I can't get this sound right. I gotta step away from this for a bit, and I gotta take a break. I gotta breathe. So you put it away for a bit, and you be like, okay, well, and then now you're thinking about it while you're outside, not even doing it. So now you're like, well, how can I fix this? What can I do to make this sound better to get the results I want? So now you're trying to be creative. That's
Yeah.
where you can really be, that's where it really shows you, what are you going to do to get yourself out of this problem where you want this, How are you going to get there?
Yeah.
So production definitely takes a lot of time and a lot of creative energy, a lot of physical energy. There's a lot of nights where you sit in the studio and you just end up passing out at the desk.
Yeesh.
It's happened to me quite a few times where I'm trying to hold conversations with friends, and then next thing you know, I'm passed out at the desk because I'm working on a song and I'm tired. I work a full-time job almost, and then I work 2 jobs, and then I still try to make time for producing.
And that's the love of the music, man. That's literally
that's just
what
for
that
the love
is.
of the game right there. That's just doing it just because you have the want to do it. There's
Yeah.
nothing's gonna stop you if you really want it. You know.
Right. And that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, you know, if, like, why do I get paid for this? But it's like, dude, you just love to do it. Like, you
Definitely.
just love to do it. So I totally get that. Well, what about so we talked about you know, how you came about to producing music and all that good stuff.
DJing.
DJing. How does your family feel about it?
At first, obviously, your parents see you sitting on the computer for hours. They think you're just goofing off, you know, or just looking at stuff that's not important. Little do they know, that they don't understand until they see that it's kind of taking you somewhere, and then they're like, "Wait, I see that you're going places and playing music, but are they paying you for it?" And sometimes it does become an issue, you know, because we all gotta pay bills. We all gotta eat.
Gotta be responsible.
Exactly.
Responsibilities don't go away.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't let it be an excuse. So you either go hard or you go home.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. So they're like, well, you know,
were you like, I'm gonna show you that I'm gonna be responsible and I'm gonna continue doing music? Was that your mindset?
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna work a 9 to 5 and I'm gonna keep making music. I don't care how long it takes me. I'm gonna, in the words of 50 Cent, you get there, you die trying.
There's no other person that can say it better.
You get there, you die trying. You know, how are you gonna jump off the cliff and just halfway decide, oh, I want to go back up? No, there's no way, bro. You already jumped.
Yep.
You already jumped. You might as well go for it.
There's no coming back.
Yeah, no, you're off the deep end, buddy. You're cooked. You might as well finish and marinate.
Nah, yeah, 100%, man. So I know. Okay, I know that you have a car hobby. Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'll talk about it a bit. For those of you guys that know me personally, I'm a huge car nut. I love motors. I do part-time work at a machine shop, so I do build engines for people, which is something that a lot of people kind of started catching on to. I like doing that because it's also another way for me to get creative. But this time it's not here. I'm being creative with my hands as well.
Okay.
So I get to, think about how these things fit together. You're building a machine, and you want it to work almost as efficiently as possible, and you want to squeeze every last little bit of potential you can out of it. So you kind of have to learn the science of how these things work. So it becomes it kind of goes hand in hand because it teaches you to be creative in different ways. So to some extent, it's kind of showed me to look at music in a different light, kind of less creatively and more, by the book, because there is certain rules that you do have to abide by, or guidelines that people set in music. Like, you can't just go and put down a bunch of kicks and just let it, hit the red. You gotta level everything out. You gotta mix everything, and that kind of
control the volume.
Exactly. You gotta place things here and there. So it kind of makes you think more technically about, okay, well, this doesn't sit right. How can I fix this? Same, going back to that, what I was saying earlier. Sometimes you got to be a little extra creative to get that result that you want.
Yeah.
So you have to think about the numbers in building cars and stuff. So it's pretty.
So you connect the two. You use the two.
Kind of, yeah. I use technical things that I'm learning, building engines, and kind of applying them to music, simply because it teaches me a different way of looking at stuff.
Now, why not? Because it actually, from knowing you, I know you're way more passionate about music. Is that fair?
It's kind of even.
It's kind of even?
Yeah, it's kind of dead even.
Okay. It seems from my perspective that, your pursuit of your artist brand seems more in tone with what you
I love. Music was my first love.
So why did you choose that? Like, what was the reason why, cars maybe are a hobby, music is more of a passion, that you're like, hey, I'm all in on music.
Yeah. Music, just when I started doing it, I was, like I said, off the deep end because of how creative I realized I could be with it. cars, you kind of have to, like I said, you have to learn the rules of what you can and can't do. So it's a little bit harder to get into, and it's quite a bit more expensive. If I'm gonna be honest, building a car is not cheap, and it's definitely not for the faint of heart. Like, you're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna go broke.
Okay. But music's not cheap either.
No, definitely not.
I just wanted to throw that in there.
No, definitely not. Music is definitely not any cheaper because you got equipment, you got your software, you have to buy samples.
I know plugins are. Oh, you could spend thousands on plugins. I know that much.
That's just in the box stuff. Now imagine once you make it, now you got to buy outboard gear. Oh man, I've seen setups where people like, it's absolutely insane the amount of money people spend on outboard gear.
Jeez. What is that for everyone else?
Outboard, like an outboard compressor, a big fancy interface, EQs, all your effects racks. Instead of having it inside the computer, you have a set, like, little dedicated space where you set everything up, and you have to
manually.
You have to manually connect everything so that you get the chain that you want. And then it's not always the same for every song, so you have to change it up.
Okay.
You know?
Now, are you against DJs who, for example, or producers that get a sample and they make a song with a sample, and like, you could find the drum kit, you could find the acapella, and you could build a song from just people that put it out there and they sell it, and you could build a whole song.
Mm-hmm.
Are you against that? Are you more like, hey, you should do it?
It depends the way you look at it. There's not really a correct way technically, but there's also, you have to, legally speaking, if you use a certain amount of a song, you have to tell people that it's this song.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're in trouble.
If it's all from sample packs? Because if
it's royalty free, go ahead.
Right.
Unless somebody's already trademarked it or copyrighted it, and then you do something with it. But then again, it's like, how are you gonna know? Because something that goes on right now I'm seeing that's kind of a big issue is all the stuff going on Splice.
Right. That's literally what
everybody can buy these samples. If you have a Splice membership, you can just go on there and buy the same sample that, say, I used. And then you hear the same sample, but you don't hear it the same way I do. But it's the same sample.
Mm-hmm.
And you make a song, and now it's your original, but I already copyrighted that sound. I copyrighted the original sample that your beat or song is based on.
Right.
So, that creates a problem for other producers that want to use the same sound.
There's and the big artists are doing this.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot, the homie Vagabond told me about this. There's this sample that's on, like, this, I forgot the songs. I think it's by Sean Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
He has this, like, little sample, and then you hear it in a Rihanna song, and it's the same sample. And those might not be the artists. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like, even big artists are doing that, and it's legal because the sample was there to use. How do you feel about that? Like, is that a shortcut? Is that like a... Are you cheating?
Nah, I mean, I think it's all very opinionated. It's very, you can be biased against using the entire sample and not changing it, or you can be biased against, but you used it anyway, even though you chopped it. I know what it is. You have the ear for it, you're gonna catch it.
Yeah.
It's very opinionated. Music, just like music is very opinionated. What sounds good to me might not sound good to you, and then vice versa. What sounds good to you might not sound good to me.
Fair. So then that brings me to my next question. How do you feel about ghost producers?
They're not terrible because some people make a living off of it.
Okay.
Some people do get paid really well because the person that has the connections to be at that level can help the ghost producer elevate himself by, I'm signed, you're signed, I make good music, but I'm not nobody in the industry, right? You're plugged up, and you can spin. Hey, bro, let me make you a couple of songs. You cash me out, whatever you sell on it. You only give me a cut. You keep the rest. Throw your name on it. I don't care. You know what I mean?
So you think it's a little bit of a chess move?
Yeah, it definitely is a chess move. You have to know when to play your cards right. You have to learn where you want your stuff to come out of.
So from a production standpoint, you're not against it. For being a producer, you're not against
No,
it.
I'm not against it. Some people are against it. Some people aren't. Like everything in music to me is very opinionated. It's very black. It's either there's gray areas for sure. It's just where you want to stand on the line. You know, do you want to be that kind of person where, oh, you use that sample. You know, you're not really making music. You just put a drum loop over it. You don't know if that man's made that drum loop himself. You don't know what else he's sampled to get that drum loop. You know?
I've been approached, for like certain people to be a ghost producer for me, as a DJ, and I did it once with a friend. I won't say the name.
You're not supposed to.
Okay,
That's what ghost producing is.
Fair.
You're not supposed to tell nobody that you're working for. So even disclosing that you ghost produce for somebody is a big red flag in that community.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so I never felt comfortable. It didn't feel like it was mine. I felt like really weird about it. I felt like I was lying. I felt like if luckily I didn't do anything with it. Like I never put it out. I never, put it in DJ pools.
Yeah.
I never did anything with it because I just never ever felt comfortable with it. Like I felt like I was lying. It felt like a lie.
It felt like you weren't being authentic with yourself to people.
Yeah.
It felt like you were taking somebody else. Well, that's literally what you're doing essentially. You're taking somebody else's work and putting your name on it with them giving you permission.
Right.
Some people are okay with it. Like I said, some people aren't. Like you said, you feel like you're not giving them a piece of yourself.
It wasn't authentic for me.
Exactly.
For me.
It's not fucking, it's not at face value at that point. You're hiding behind something.
Exactly.
So I can definitely agree to some extent on that. Some people just don't have the time to produce.
That's the part, right? Is that I don't have the time to produce. So I've been trying to figure out how to not meet in the middle, but I've been trying to figure out how to go about it where it is my own creativity. Someone's just helping me put it out there, and I haven't figured out that answer yet. And maybe you have, some advice.
My suggestion would be find somebody that's really already seasoned as a producer and knows how to move around in that realm, and have them guide you to the correct steps of what you need to learn to get you. You know what I mean? To basically, here, bro, here's all your tools that you're going to need. Here's absolutely everything you need to know to make your own stuff. What you do with it is, I'm going to show you how to fish. Go do it.
Interesting.
Here's a fishing pole. Here's your tackle. Here's your bait. If you want to go fish, the watering hole's right there.
So here's the samples you might want to use. Here's the drum kits you might want to use. This is based on knowing you. This is what I think fits your personality.
Yep. What do you like making? Okay, well, here's some sample packs that I can find. Some people are nice enough, and I've done this for a couple of people, where they're asking, hey, bro, do you know where I can get some packs to make this kind of music? And I'll go out of my way to hunt down a pack for people, or packs for people.
Okay.
Here, bro, this is what you need. Or here, bro, I found this.
Yeah.
You can have it. I have it too, but I'm not going to use it. Take it.
Yeah.
It's kind of...
That's good, man. That's good, man. Because so I keep thinking it's funny. I was thinking about this the other day, and this is I'm sure we all go through this, but Coachella just passed.
Jeez.
First of all, I love Coachella, so if you hate it, you and I are not gonna be in good terms right now.
It's not that I hate Coachella. It's not about the festival. It's about the people that are beginning to go to these events.
I'm there for the music. I'm there for the music, bro.
Of course. The main reason people like us go is for the music, which is the purpose of these events.
Right.
We're supposed to go there because we enjoy the music and we all want to harmonize and just enjoy and just good vibes. That's what peace, love, unity, respect. That's what it's about. That's what it's supposed to be about. But now people are... That's not what it is anymore.
It's all for the show.
Now people are just, I'm at Coachella.
Look at me.
Yeah, that's not... Nah, bro. Get out of here with that. That's lame, dude. If you're there, be there and be in the moment. You never know what that DJ that you went to go see is going to play, bro. You 100%. Never know. You missed the moment because you're on fucking Snapchat, telling your boy, oh, dude, now
Yeah.
That, to me, that's a memory you want to have with your people that you can hold on to. You and your people can hold on to. hey, bro, you remember when we went to EDC and then this DJ, we went to go see him and he played this unreleased stuff? Bro, I haven't heard that song to this day. That shit was lit.
Yeah.
Like,
Hands
that's
down.
what it's about. That's really what it's about.
Hands down, bro. I 100% agree with you. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I was like, dude, how am I going to be at Coachella? Like, I want to be an artist to play at Coachella one day. I want to play at Coachella. I was like, I kept just thinking about it. I was like, okay, like, what do I do as a brand to make that happen? And it just goes back to producing. I can't think of another way. Even if I was to become an influencer and, like, just do really cool stuff, maybe do tricks with music and get really good at, like, kind of like James Hype, where he's just, you know, really creative with
how he plays it.
How he plays. But even James Hype does.
Yeah, he produces. Yeah, definitely.
You know, and I think the answer is just producing, man. So I've been really, really, like, thinking, like, okay, I gotta have a medium ground of, I'm not getting a ghost producer because I don't feel comfortable with it, but I am okay with doing this.
You want a mentor.
And I think your advice is perfect, man. I like that middle ground of, like, hey, you know, let's say I asked you, like, Alex, like, get me the tools. Just put them in front of me and let me mess with them.
Yeah.
Let me go.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like that's the best way to go about it, especially as somebody who's been doing this for many years. I feel like the best thing you can do for the community is help the people that actually want to be in it and not in it for the clout. Like, oh, I make beats now. Like, I'm cool. Now I'm a producer. Now I get to play shit. No, you're not a producer, bro. You're doing this for the clout. You're a real producer when you're doing it for the love of doing it.
Yeah, bro.
When you make music to leave a piece of yourself here, that's when you're really making music.
Dude, I have so many freaking ideas that, like, sometimes I'll tell people, like, oh, this would sound good if you did this, and that. And it's just like, dude, I wish I could do those ideas because it's like they're good ideas. For example, like, this is an idea I had, and I think if I can make it happen some way or another, the name of our company, Famous Entertainment Group or Famous DJ Agency. Yep. You know the song Selfie?
Yeah.
With the
Chainsmokers? That's an old song.
It's an old song, bro. And I was like, dude, like, there should be a song that's, like, famous. It's just everybody wants to be famous.
Yeah.
So if you could do something like that where it's like, instead of, like, oh, let me take a selfie. Oh, let me be famous. Bro, like,
we're gonna cook something up.
Like,
we're gonna cook something. Watch, yeah, we're gonna cook something up. Paco, watch.
You know what I'm saying?
If you're really trying to go off the deep end, man, like
that'd be a dope ass song.
Yeah,
that'd be a dope ass song.
And it's stuff like this, you know, these connections with people that you can share, bounce these ideas back and forth that really get the creative juices going for. You know what they say, man? 2 heads is definitely better than 1.
100%, bro.
You know, because then the ideas are. Like, whoa.
And I have so many of those, man. It's not just that. So I was like, dude, like, I gotta find a middle ground. I know I'm busy. I know I'm running a business. I'm running 2 businesses. I get it. But you are too. And that's the part that kind of, like, gets to me, you know, because I know you are too. And I'm like, dude, I gotta be able to do it. I gotta figure this out. You know, like, you're doing the car thing.
Yep.
You're doing the producer thing.
Yep.
And you said you had another one?
I do security for my 9 to 5.
Security?
Yeah, I'm a security guard on my 9 to 5.
9 to 5, bro. 9 to 5.
Well, 9 to 5. It's a graveyard, so
even still, like,
you gotta be dedicated.
And you still got time for production, bro. Like,
you have to really want it. That's what's gonna separate the people that go out and get it and the people that don't.
Bro, props, man. Props.
Thank you,
legit. I always tell you. You know, I'm always telling you. But props, bro.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it definitely takes a toll on your health, mentally, physically, emotionally. It gets really frustrating sometimes, you know, because you got so much stuff on your plate, and like you said, you run 2 businesses, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man.
I had to miss out last time because I was low on sleep.
Right.
We had to reschedule because I couldn't handle it anymore. I had gone a whole almost 48 hours on no sleep. I planned on napping for, say, a couple hours and then waking up at a certain hour and then, all right, cool, I'm going to get ready. I'm going to go to I'm going to come over here to the agency and I'm going to get this podcast done.
Yeah.
I'm going to spin, I'm going to go home, and then I'll finally rest.
Right.
That didn't happen.
No, all good, man. Funny enough, I'm going to talk about that because that day, bro, you were like, when you woke up, you texted me like, hey, man, I'm on my way.
Yeah, yep. I had literally just, I flew out of bed. I was like, what time is it? I looked and I was like, oh, crap.
I was so sick, bro.
You're not the only one. I'm barely getting over it.
I was
I don't know
so
if you guys
sick.
can hear it, but yeah, you're not the only one. Something's going around for sure.
Yeah, bro. So
sure.
when I texted you, I hope I didn't come off as rude.
Oh, no.
But when I texted you, I was like, dude, let's just schedule for another day. It's because I was like legit, like my back was hurting,
Oh, no,
my
you're
bones
good.
were hurting. So it kind of like, it was a blessing in disguise, bro. Because I got home the next day. I didn't get home the next day. I got home, I slept all night and slept the entire day the next day.
Wow.
I
You know
was
what?
really sick, bro.
I can't be mad because I had just started feeling bad and I'm just now coming out of that same sickness. So for
There
me,
you
it's
go.
like, you know what? It is what it is. Sometimes life just tells you, hey, bro, stop.
Yep.
Life is gonna force you to stop at some point.
Take a
Believe
break.
Me.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah, take a
yeah.
break. Yeah.
And if life doesn't stop you, believe me, your body or your brain is gonna make you stop.
100%, bro.
So
100%.
you take care of yourself. You know, even if you're out here grinding like crazy, like, you know, me and Paco, you gotta set a limit for yourself. You gotta take a day for yourself sometimes. My days off out of doing anything is mostly Sundays.
Okay.
When I don't really I don't work my 9 to 5. I may work on music at home if I'm not busy or helping my grandmother, you know. And I still gotta help my grandmother at home because you know.
That's the next
So-
thing I want to talk about, man. Dude, you freaking... And how do you do... I want to know how you do this, man. And please tell everyone because... And I'll say this, you know, my perspective on you, okay? Since I met you, man, you are the first to say, how can I help? You are the first to say, I'll be there. You are the first to say, we'll figure this out. How do you keep up, man? Like, and what gives you that energy and you know, like, knowing how busy you are and how much you have going on, how do you do it, man? How do you keep up that I'm here to help you and I'm going to be a helping hand no matter what?
There comes a certain point in your life where all you want to do is be helpful. You know, all you want to do is you do want to move forward yourself, but you realize that you can't do that all on your own. You have to take steps to help people. You have to pull people up with you so they can take a step forward and they can bring you back up with them to the next stage too. You can't, there's no way you can do everything by yourself. There is no way. There is no I in team. You need a team to get there. The teamwork makes the dream work. You know, so
Absolutely.
a lot of it is kind of
But
just
you're like that way before you started this, man. That's just kind of like...
you either got it or you don't. You know, at the end of the day, you're actually really want to be a helpful person, or you're just looking out for yourself. You know, you have to really be selfless.
Okay.
At the end of the day, that's really what it is. What it really comes down to. You have to have that drive to just, you know what, I have to look at this as I'm not doing this just for me. I'm doing it to help them too. I'm not here to just benefit myself. I want them to benefit just as much as I want to benefit from whatever we're doing.
Nah, it's fair, man. That's a very fair sentiment, and I think everything you do kind of shows that, you know, because you're taking so many steps in the right direction, and I feel like just even in your music, man. I no offense here, and I hope you don't take it the wrong way, but when you first started coming around to the office way back when, first starting out Fruity Loops.
Fruity Loops days, like
I would listen to your music. I would listen to Miguel's music, and even who's that other guy?
you talking about Jesus?
No, Turn It Up or
Hype It Up.
Hype It Up.
Shout out Esteban, dog.
Yeah.
Shout out Esteban.
Have you seen that guy's
That
progress?
dude's nuts, dude. The dude's making some heavy shit, dude.
Bro, my respect to that freaking guy.
He's been at it probably a little bit longer than I have. The dude's sick. Shout out Esteban, dude. I haven't talked to him in a fat minute, but if you're watching, bro, shout out to you, my guy. You're out there doing your thing. I'm watching.
I would listen to you, Miguel's, and Esteban's music, and it was not good.
You gotta start somewhere, you know. It's like anything you start doing.
And then it's like not in a mean way.
No.
But then you see the progress, bro. And I feel like everybody, you know, even I remember when I started DJing, dude, because obviously I'm not a producer, but when I started DJing, dude, I didn't know how to beat match. I sounded like trash.
We all do.
Yeah, bro.
We all do. That's just the gist of it right there.
And then just seeing like, you know, years later and seeing like oh, they kept at it. Like I said, Esteban, bro, like hype it up. Like that guy's done festivals, man. Like
That dude's sick. I'm telling you, he's another person that I've seen coming up like that is VRG, my boy Daniel out in Oregon. Huge shout out to VRG, man. That I've seen him come up since he was like Tox. Like that's OG. Like that's he was making hybrid trap back in the day. Now he's doing just straight heavy bangers. The dude's sick.
And it's just such a beautiful thing.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
It's just such a beautiful thing to see. And once again, not in a negative way. Like I'm very critical. Like I think DJs and producers should be critical of each other in a good way.
Yeah, no.
Like, hey man, like your stuff could be better. Like it's
No.
fine to say that. Like,
You have to be able to take constructive criticism. Definitely, that's one of the main things about making music and
Right.
DJing. You have to be able to take harsh criticism because sometimes they're telling you the truth, and
Right.
they're not telling you certain things
To hurt your
yeah,
feelings.
exactly. No,
Yeah.
they're telling you because they want you to learn that skill.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've had people show me some stuff, and I'm just like, look, you can change this. Well, in the group chats that we
Right.
have, you know, in the Discord servers, hey, what can I do here? Hey, man, to me, this, and this is wrong. This is how I feel like you should fix this. That's just my 2 cents. I'm very biased, but you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm
Yep,
trying to tell
yep.
them what my ears hear and what my experience is telling me to tell you.
100%.
I want you to grow.
Yeah.
I want you to be better.
100%.
If I can help you be better than me, why the hell not? Why am I
Exactly.
going to be the hater? That's terrible mentality right there.
100%.
You
bro.
want people, like I said, you want to reach back, and if you launch them forward, guess what they're going to do because you helped them?
Right.
They're going to reach back and be like, hey, bro, I appreciate you.
That's the homie.
Yeah.
He helped me out. He told me that
Yup.
that one thing.
Yep.
I made that one change in my track, and my track blew up. And if I didn't make that change, my track wouldn't have blown up. And I only made that change because that guy told me.
That's a piece of it. The other piece of it is taking that knowledge and actually doing it. Because
Yep.
I could give you, like I said earlier, I could give you everything you need, and you could just let it sit there.
And there's so many people who do that. They're like, "Oh, you're wrong,"
Mm-hmm.
because they don't want to be wrong.
Yeah, yeah. They're just so
They're
afraid
just
of
stubborn.
taking criticism
Yeah.
and just, no, I'm not wrong, Bro, you have to be. We're humans,
Yeah.
you know? We're all learning how to be here
Yeah.
together.
And it's like for example, in DJing, right? Like you could tell someone like, "Hey man, that transition didn't go because of this, and that," and to them it might sound good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's funny enough. That's kind of like the hard part about music,
Yeah.
because creativity is to the eye of the beholder.
Like, yeah, it's very opinionated. It
Yeah.
comes right back to that. It's very opinionated to some people.
It's like, "Oh no, that sounds good to me. Like that sounds good to me."
That's why that comes back to there's certain guidelines that you kind of have to follow.
right.
Like you can produce a song, but a real producer is gonna tell you, hey man, your 808 is out of key with the rest of
Right.
the song,
Right.
and you know he's right, but you don't want to accept it. Oh, like you said, it sounds good to me. Okay, yeah, but now make that change and take a listen back and tell me that's not gonna sound a little bit better.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not telling you to redo the whole song.
And I think the problem is that sometimes that mistake goes viral in a good direction. It's like, "Oh, it sounded so good." Like I remember, I think it was Soldier Boy released a song that was like in a weird, like he made it in a weird way, and it went like
Super viral.
super viral. It like got like famous, and it got real big. And it's just like, well, he did that on purpose. He messed up on purpose. I think it was Soldier Boy. I'm not sure, but he messed up on purpose, and people loved it because it was so different. And that's that creativity component where it's like, oh, like, well, I did this, it went viral, people loved it, and it was made wrong on purpose. Like, I didn't follow the guidelines, and that's the problem with creativity.
I feel like that kind of goes back to a level of authenticity. You kind of want people to see the bottom. You know? Some people are not okay with it. I personally feel like it's great so people can see you struggle, because then they're going to be like, well, I seen him when he was nobody. I seen him working his jobs, doing this, and
Yeah.
still making music.
Right.
That should motivate you. That should really motivate you. You
Yeah.
shouldn't be out here hating on that dude because he's out here working his ass off to get where he wants to be. That should push you to help you get to where you want to be.
That's
You should learn. Ask him. Don't, you know what I mean? Stop criticizing people and ask. If you genuinely want to go somewhere, you have to be willing to take criticism and to ask for help.
absolutely, man. That you're 100% right on that. You're 100% right on that because I feel like people are just haters. There's a lot of people who are just haters.
Mm-hmm.
And authentic people, and it's hard to like tell the truth, right? Like, is he telling me because he really wants to help me, or is he telling me because he wants to keep me in the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how do you differentiate the two?
You can tell by. It's not what they say; it's how they say it. Somebody can tell you, "Oh, I don't like your song because it's out of key." Okay, well, what's out of key? Oh, okay, you know that what I just said. That's me being a hater. Oh, your song's out of key.
Yeah.
How can I fix it?
Right.
If I want to be productive and help you, hey man, I noticed that the way you did your kicks right here, it doesn't match with the rest of the song. The rest of the song sounds good. Maybe pitch your like I said earlier, your 808s are out of key. Maybe pitch that up or down a little bit, or try to find out where it sounds like harmonizing with the rest of the sounds.
Yeah.
That's when you're being productively.
Yeah. No, you're right,
Productive
bro.
advice.
You're 100%. I always tell anybody who I'm doing projects with, well, don't tell me the problem if you don't have a solution to the problem.
Amen. Yeah.
And I feel that.
Yep.
You're right, man. You're right. Give me a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're just stating a problem, and that might be just in your head.
You're just blowing it out of proportion.
Yeah,
You're making it worse because now you're. I know that's the issue. Help me.
Yeah.
Help me fix it.
Or it might be just subjective to you because
Yeah.
I think it's good and you're not giving me a solution. So hey, that's
Yep.
just a subjective thing to you. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I like that. That's pretty good. All right, man. So before we get into this, I want to ask you a couple more questions.
Yeah. Shoot.
We got a couple. We got a few more minutes. We got a few more minutes. You talked about your past. You talked about your what inspired you to be into music. You talked about your hobbies. I want to know what you've done with it. So, when's the last concert you've done? When's the next concert? When's the what is out there? How did you do it? And what's coming next?
I wouldn't call them concerts. They're kind of like really small.
Fair.
Really small venues with I like playing intimate shows with people.
Okay.
Like sure, everybody's dream as a producer DJ is to play a huge festival.
Yeah.
That's the goal for everybody. That's we all have the same end goal. How are you gonna get there? You have to play small shows. People have to hear you play.
Right.
People have to hear your music somehow.
Mm-hmm.
When you're playing music and they hear something that they've never heard before, they're gonna come up to you and be like, "Hey, who made that?" Or, "Where'd you find that?"
Mm-hmm.
Now you have a chance to shameless plug your music out there. Oh, I made this remix. Here's my stuff. Plug yourself up.
Right.
Some people will be like, "Yo, what? I've never heard somebody do this before. What do you call it, or what's your name?" You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You would really. You gotta throw yourself out there, man. If you don't, you're not gonna get anywhere.
Right. No, I agree. And it's funny because that goes hand in hand with you never know who's going to listen to you.
Yep.
That might be somebody.
Yep.
They might be somebody, and they might be able to get you into into a different direction in your career.
Mm-hmm.
So I totally get that. And I always tell I have equipment here in the office. I always tell my people, it's so much better for the equipment to be out there, even if we're not getting paid for it, than for it to be in storage doing nothing.
Yep.
Because out there, it's being listened to.
You're using it. You're utilizing it for what it's made for.
People might hear it. People might book you. People might, it's going to do something as opposed to sitting there in storage. Nobody's listening to it.
And then on top of that, you're not sharpening your skills either.
Bro, that is very true.
Think about when you're cooking, and you buy a brand new set of knives. You start using them, and then eventually I don't feel like cooking anymore. So you let them sit. What's gonna happen to those knives when you let them sit?
They get dull.
They get dull and they oxidize.
Yeah.
You ruined it. You're letting it go to waste.
Right.
Learn. Do something with it. Because otherwise you're just... It's like I said earlier, it's like having a set of tools and just,
Yeah. I agree 100%. So what's next? Okay, so you talked about the shows. Even though they're small, they're more of an intimate setting. which I think it's totally fair. What is next for Crime and Punishment, and then what's next for Flex?
You can never tell what the future's gonna bring you.
Okay.
I can't tell you. You know, only time will tell what's next. You know, something might happen to where somebody listens to our stuff and they're like, "Oh, dude, your stuff is awesome."
Yeah.
I've had that happen a couple of times, and shout out to the guys, Josh Byron. Thank you for playing that for us at the Bloody Beetroots Festival at that event that he just played at. That was sick. Refilled out in New Jersey, dude's fucking crazy too.
How does that feel, man? To know your music got played at festivals. That's gotta be like.
It's crazy, man. Like, it's even small events with names. Even though they don't know it's you, just the fact that you know they heard it already, and if they hear it again, they'll be like, "Wait a minute, I've heard that before. Who played that? This guy played it."
Bro.
Oh, damn. All right. Well, I know he got it from somewhere. I'm gonna ask him where he got that because I heard it over here.
Yeah.
And now this guy's playing it. It's got to be this good, you know. You can't dictate where you're gonna go next. You could only go in that direction and hope that you're going the right way.
Right.
And then obviously life throws obstacles at you and how you go about maneuvering around them. But it's definitely, it's not only kind of humbling, but it's also very motivating more than anything to
Yeah.
have your music played by somebody, you know, that's bigger than you. Because then they're like, "Damn, this dude has this many followers and he's playing my stuff." Like, it's you geek on that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
You know, you
man.
really do geek on that kind of stuff. A lot of people think you don't, but once you really see, and then you see people's reactions to your music, it's just, I don't know. There's no feeling like it.
I believe it, man. I believe it. Well, bro, I just want to say thank you, man. Like as you know, you've been a long time friend. I think it's crazy that we've gotten to this point. Even just being on this show, and being able to share your story. I just want to say thank you, and more importantly, man, I just want to say I'm proud of you, bro. Like, I really am. Like, you do a lot of cool stuff. You're so energetic about it. You're persistent with it. Keep going.
Thank you, man.
Keep going.
Thank you.
I want to see, I want to see Flex at Coachella, even if you hate it. Next time I go to Coachella, Flex has to be
Let's
there.
go.
So
You heard that, right, Coachella? You heard that.
Let's make it happen, bro. What are you playing for us today?
I'm gonna try to play a little bit of everything, kinda. Definitely gonna play some remixes. You guys are definitely gonna get some unreleased stuff today.
Let's freaking go.
So there's gonna be some stuff in here that you might not hear for who knows how long. You may never hear it again. I'm just saying. You may only hear it on this pod. You may only hear it today and I might lose it. Something might happen to my laptop tomorrow. Oh, I lost all of it. Now whatever's on my flash drive, that's all that's left.
Bro.
So
Okay, well, it'll be here. It'll be here.
knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But life happens to people. Stuff happens, and you gotta roll with the punches.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna play a little bit of Brazilian funk, a little bit of Jersey club. Towards the end, I'm gonna get it a little heavier. We'll see. But
I gotta say, like, every time I've heard you play, bro, like, I freaking love your music. So I'm super excited for today.
Thank you.
So let's make it happen. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you. I really appreciate you being here.
Very humbling. Thank you for having me. It's been an honor being here, and more than anything, it's been a blessing to get this far. It's been nothing but blessings to get this far and have people support me as much as they have. The little support that I have, mad. Thank you guys, man. Like, that shit means the world.
Amen, bro. Amen. For sure. Let's get it going.
Let's get it.
You want another?
Nah, I still got some water left.